Okay. 6. Not 6 years, 6 months. And somehow everybody already needs a therapist. MAGA was supposed to be this unstoppable movement. Trad libs, conservatives, independent, libertarians, Republicans, neocons, and even some celebrities came together to fight against a political Death Star. Turns out, it took less than a year for half the fan base to start accusing the other half of being a secret stormtrooper.
Naive. Welcome to politics.
I realized it was a one-night stand, not a loving relationship with everyone together. You guys, in fact, I need to stop saying you guys, we, because I was part of the crowd this last election. I picked my team, and we didn't need the Democrats to destroy the movement. We sped right through it ourselves. I'm just being honest, less than a year and things already fractured like crazy.
Sources are saying that Joe Kent, the former director of the United States National Counterterror Center, this is from Semaphore, he just resigned. He's now under FBI investigation for allegedly leaking classified information.
And to be fair, not everything has been bad. Illegal immigration, the border. I'm sorry, some of you may not like this, but it worked. Way more enforcement than before. The numbers, a bit manipulated, okay? But the tactic worked. So did the liberal tactic to combat the initiative. Policy-wise, a win for Trump. Perception-wise, a win for Democrats.
What you're about to see is disturbing. There is crude language in this. This is graphic, and we do not know the context around this. We don't know what happened before this video.
Come on, you know what I'm talking about, right? Minneapolis, the whole fake manufactured protest. We need to start following the money. How about that? Because if you follow the tracks, you would have seen that the money came from nonprofit run by liberal interests funneled through local evangelical churches who used that money to help train agitators and professional protesters to disrupt ICE, in hopes to capture a viral moment to discredit the current administration, even if it requires death. So if immigration was what you voted for, you can honestly sit here and say, mission accomplished. And if you wanted to make ICE look like some unhinged savages with a badge, you can honestly sit here and say, mission accomplished. Hey, but at least we get mad at some of these hypocritical comedians like Bill Burr who went to Saudi Arabia to collect a bag that looked very similar to the bag that Khashoggi was transported in pieces, of course.
He was last seen 17 days ago entering the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. Now the Saudis say Hashazi was killed in a fistfight. 18 Saudi suspects are now in custody for the slaying, and several top intelligence officials, some with close ties to the Crown Prince, have been fired.
But then Iran happened, which wasn't supposed to happen, the whole no wars thing, but then it did happen, and then we destroyed the nuclear sites, but then we didn't destroy the nuclear sites, and here we are fighting with Iran again because they were definitely 100% an immediate threat to Israel. I mean us. I mean us. It's like our foreign policy is run by a golden retriever. Oh, what's that over there? Hey, what about this one? That one, this one, that one. Let's go to war with all of them, baby.
President Trump, who campaigns on keeping America out of foreign conflict, facing criticism from a member of his own party. Thomas Massey writing, "Wake up, MAGA. Venezuela is not about drugs. It's about oil and regime change."
Boom. Explosion within the party. Now everybody is arguing whether we're in another war. Republicans are leaning on the policy and the presidential powers to say that we're not in a war, while Democrats are saying that we are at a war because they're using their emotions. War in politics and war in law are not always the same thing, but we're definitely in a war. We are in a tough spot, people. This was one of the main policies that I leaned on because I've been to war. The whole no war rhetoric that was also demonstrated from 2016 to 2020 by Trump. And now some conservatives are saying, relax, it's a strategic plan. They have nuclear weapons. And others are saying, congratulations, we just became the thing we voted against, neocons. All I can say, my buddies who were anti-war, they quit. Joe Kent, Tulsi, those are my people. They quit. Even Megyn Kelly has been calling out parts of the administration over foreign policy and warning Republicans not to lose sight of the American First message. And this is coming from a woman who's clearly a hypocrite. That's what makes this whole thing so entertaining to me. All the people who were the free speech warriors, the moral high ground group, somehow became the very thing they were arguing against. Hypocrites. And I was supporting this. Ben Shapiro, remember this?
Let's look at the stats. I've got the facts. My money like Lizzo, my pockets are fat. Homie, I'm epic. Don't be a wap.
Now he doesn't want to debate or associate himself with anyone who isn't Israel first. So much that he's even burning down his entire company. And don't get it twisted, my liberal friends. No, you guys are still absolutely deranged. Trump could announce free puppies for every single child tomorrow, and CNN will still find a veterinarian explaining how puppies are actually fascists, and how Hitler apparently had a dog.
Play this stupid juvenile meme game.
The obsession never stops. Every headline still sounds like the apocalypse. This could be the end of democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
I've heard that far too long to know it's not really true. They've said that every Tuesday since 2016. Don't you get tired from that? It's gotten so bad that Mr. G.I. Joe himself was accused of being a Nazi for his Jerusalem cross tattoo on his chest. Fast forward a year later, and Sonny Huston wants to vote for an actual racist with an actual Nazi tattoo simply because he's running on the Democratic ticket.
This is what an idiot sounds like.
Because of the state of this country, if I lived in Maine, I would hold my nose and I would vote for Plattner. Republicans at this point can ask us to take the moral high ground.
There you go.
That is over at this point. Democrats have always fallen in love and Republicans have always fallen in line. It's time for Democrats to stop that nonsense, put emotions on the side. Let's be strategic. Let's get some power. Yes. Let's take over the Senate. Let's take over the House. And let's right the ship.
At some point, democracy deserves an apology. And conservatives, can we stop pretending every politician with a red tie is Moses? Holy crap.
And I believe that the Lord said to tell you this. Because of his victory, you will be victorious in all you put your hand to.
Fraud doesn't wear one color. Corruption doesn't register with one party. Republicans waste money. Democrats waste money, just in two different ways. The only bipartisan agreement in Washington is spending your money. And that also includes bombing people. Don't get it twisted, people. Both parties enjoy accidentally bombing people, whether it's an American or a school full of children. Bombing is bombing. Like my channel. Subscribe. We'll spend years, fighting over bathrooms for 6 hours and what a woman is, then unanimously approve another $1 trillion before lunch. It's amazing teamwork when it's actually needed and benefits them. Hey, remember when the Republicans ran on the idea that America was a place where ideas mattered? Challenge everything. Debate anyone. Free speech. Question authority. No sacred cows. Well, almost no sacred cows, right? Because the second the conversation turns to Israel, suddenly everybody develops the survival instinct of a hostage negotiator. It is incredible. These are the people who tell you to question every institution on earth, except the one when they are in power. You see, because that comes with terms and conditions, like the software agreement that nobody reads. Our fault. We can't sit there and be mad and blame the president or whoever's sitting in office or the politician that you voted for or didn't vote for. Don't be surprised you didn't read the fine print of follow the money. You don't prove principles by protecting comfortable conversations. You prove them by allowing uncomfortable ones. And that was my favorite part, but now, no one wants to have uncomfortable conversations because one side will call you a fascist and potentially kill you. The other side might arrest you. Pick your poison.
I want to punch you right in your dumb face.
Just remember this. On a serious note, just remember this. Both parties keep telling you that they're fighting for the middle class. This is like a marketing strategy. It's been like that for God knows how long. Because yes, the rich will keep getting richer. Why? Not because they are geniuses, and it's not because they know the tax loopholes that are literally on irs.gov and just takes a few minutes to read over and get used to, especially if you keep up with it every single year. You too can take advantage of those same tax loopholes. And it's not because they realize that rap and sports isn't going to get us out the hood. It's because they figured out how the game actually works. Hence why Wall Street keeps winning. Stop wasting your money on manufactured protests and buy yourself a competent politician. Have you not noticed that Congress somehow leaves office worth $50 million after making only $170,000 a year? Somebody explain the math.
Stop talking!
Actually, don't. The IRS might be watching. I can't even enjoy commentary online anymore. You got comedians who turn political commentators like Dave Smith, and I believe he believes what he is saying. But he's definitely dealing with the Kruger-Dunning effect. You got Joe Rogan platforming a heretic, a lying Christian.
What do you think is the biblical evidence to support the opinion of being pro-abortion?
Mary is probably my favorite figure in the Bible, the mother of Jesus. And, she is... she's an oppressed peasant teenage girl living in poverty under an oppressive empire as a Jew. And she has a vision from God. The angel comes down and asks Mary if this is something she wants to do. And she says, if it is God's will, let it be done. Let it be. Let it happen. So to me, that is an affirmation in one of our most central stories.
When you got the VP scrambling on figuring out how he's going to run in 2028 with a catastrophe that he's currently a part of. And people are now realizing that the VP is just a glorified just-in-case position. I mean, come on, what do you guys think it was? I mean, obviously, unless the president is somewhat brain dead and you have an unlikable woman who is managing you. So, even people that I used to respect, I despise now. Candace Owens making us Catholics look bad by creating her own little gossip girl cult after capitalizing on her so-called friend's death, literally lying about everything. And people are still to this day falling for the BS, even though Kirk's murder trial is on the internet. You can hear it and watch it.
I certainly didn't suspect Turning Point USA would be, as I believe, involved in a cover-up. It doesn't necessarily mean they were involved in plotting to kill him. And I've never said that. Cam Higbee is on the payroll of Turning Point USA, the very organization that just had its leader assassinated in broad daylight in front of the entire world. What about his burial? How come we haven't seen anything about his burial?
You repeatedly questioned why we weren't being told where Charlie Kirk is buried. Did you get those answers?
You have the wrong commentator who questioned that.
You've never asked where Charlie's buried?
Nope. What about his burial? How come we haven't seen anything about his burial?
She has said Charlie's murder, quote, had to be approved by Charlie's friends, and then suggested those friends might have her murdered too, for, quote, knowing.
I never said that. The decision was made to murder Charlie Kirk, a decision that very clearly had to be approved by Charlie's friends. Is this going to be the pathway forward? Are you going to start murdering more people in broad daylight for knowing? I never said that. I was totally in a cloud of grief. Okay, you remember I had to go away to Wyoming just to breathe. Like, what am I doing wrong here that I have to go away and cry for a long time and everyone else just kind of seemed giddy? That's the only way I can describe it, like giddy. That emotion shouldn't be possible. It shouldn't be possible, actually. I was in this aggrieved stage and I really didn't poke my head up until weeks later when I could stop crying about it every second. Charlie Kirk, my friend, is dead. First, this is fantastic that Preborn is doing this. I just want to remind you guys about Pure Talk. Also reminding you guys about American financing. Also reminding you guys about GNO Land. Also telling you guys about Just Thrive. You can head over to our website, CandaceOwens.com. You can sign up, buy yourself a hat. I still haven't spoken to the press about Charlie Kirk, actually. I haven't even given one interview about Charlie Kirk because it felt icky to me. I think that in the coming weeks, there's going to be a lot of financial reports that are coming out. And I, first and foremost, do not believe that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk.
But we've become so dumb that we need an interpreter by the name of Candace Owens to misinform you. And why is it so easy to misinform you? Because Erica Kirk is a little weird. The average American is arguing online over culture wars while grocery costs more, insurance costs more, housing costs more. Somehow your paycheck still arrives looking embarrassed. And it's not a Trump thing. And no, it's not a Biden thing. It's years and years and years of political ignorance. Until the entertainer finally decided that he wanted to be the most powerful man in the world in 2016, and now everyone is an expert. And what you see isn't even real. What you think you know probably isn't even real. It's all a dog and pony show, a chess game, and that's the real bipartisan achievement, making everybody dumber and poorer while convincing them that the other guy is the problem. Politics has become professional wrestling. It was always professional wrestling, but it was like that era, like the 60s or 70s era, where people just didn't know that it was fake and gay. Dude! Half the audience thinks this is all real. The other half knows it's scripted. Either way, we are all getting screwed in one way or another. It's just if you'd rather get screwed by the Democratic Party or by the Republican Party. And even those titles are very loose because the roles reverse depending on the era. Look, I'm clearly conservative. Me just saying that means to some of you that I'm a Republican and I hate you and I want you dead and take away your rights, all this ridiculous stuff. You are politically captured. I have no affiliation to any party. In fact, I can't even vote on any of the primaries, except whatever you deliver to me between these two to pick from. But there is a distinct difference in behavior amongst political party members and the type of people that they usually attract. I don't want America to fall. I don't want the president to do poorly. He's literally the leader of our country, and that applies whether you are blue or red. I live here. My kids live here. And let me tell you, I've traveled a lot. I've seen a lot of the outside world, outside of the tourist spots that some of you equate to being better than America. It's an illusion. We are not perfect as a country. Let me be very, very clear, okay? As a society, and as a culture, we're pretty degenerate. Like, just objectively just look around and observe. We're a culture full of degenerate behavior. But look around, visit other places, explore other countries, and you will learn to appreciate America even more, because even the poorest of poor here in America are still better than 90% of the rest of the world. And I'm from Europe, and I love Europe, but even then, when it comes to opportunities and the ability to be able to get out of the situation you're in or make something of yourself or try to make some money, America, fortunately and unfortunately, is better than most other countries. So why would I want America to fail? I want it to do better, and I want it to be better. And I hope that makes sense. Even though we've caused so much damage throughout the world, we're not the only ones. Everyone is fighting to be King Dingaling of the world.